A very warm good morning. My name is Joseph Kinyanjui. Welcome to 10 a.m. Business News, and we kick off with the highlights. President Ruto plans compulsory 2.575% NHIF deductions. KRA hits used car imports with more taxes again. Kirubi daughter exits CDN as husband goes for CBK post. Fierce battle for Kenya's 21 billion shillings daily mobile money payments. Kenya Power seeks treasury help to recover 1.5 billion shillings bills. Airtel Uganda sweetens IPO with free shares offer. Welcome, and we kick off. President William Ruto's plan to make it mandatory for every household in Kenya to contribute 2.75% of its income to fund a new social health care fund will see the government take at least 20% of the monthly pay from Kenyans earning 50,000 shillings and above, and in the latest onslaught on pay slips. Thika Road Radio has learned that the Social Health Care Insurance Bill 2023 will also make it mandatory for all Kenyans to be members of a new social insurance scheme which will replace the current National Health Insurance Fund (NHIF) to enjoy government services. To fund the Grand Health Scheme, the state plans to increase deductions from the current range of 150 shillings to 1,700 shillings to a flat rate calculated at 2.75% of gross monthly earnings. The looming deductions will further cut the take-home income for Kenyan workers whose monthly earnings have been hit in the housing tax and increased contributions to the National Social Security Fund (NSSF). The state will, through the pay-as-you-earn (NSSF) housing levy and healthcare contribution, take about 10,000 shillings 264 or 20.5% from those earning 50,000 shillings gross pay, up from the current 8,000 shillings 460. Workers earning 100,000 shillings will give up to 27,000 shillings 389 or 27.4%, with the pain deepening for those higher salaries. The deductions highlight the pain of the workers in funding President Ruto's Universal Health Coverage (UHC), affordable housing and enhanced pension plans, in addition to other budgetary needs. Under the state-backed Social Health Insurance Bill 2023 (UHC) will be modeled on three separate funds: one for preventive and primary health care, another for primary referrals, and a third covering treatment of chronic diseases. The KRA (Kenya Revenue Authority) has hit used car importers with a fresh round of tax increments after capping the maximum depreciation rate at 65% of the value of the vehicle from 70% previously. Pamela Ahago, the acting commissioner for the Customs and Border Control Department, instructed the KRA staff to apply a new depreciation rate schedule for cars effective Friday. The directive will see taxes rise by more than 14% for vehicles manufactured in 2016, largely imported by dealers currently because of Kenya's 8-year age limit for used cars. The additional costs will likely be passed on to buyers according to dealers. The above value assumes the car's engine capacity is 1800 cc as the excise duty ranges between 20% and 35% of the customs value and import duty based on the size of the car engine. CDN Bank has announced the exit of Mary Ann Musangi from its board after President William Ruto nominated her husband, Andrew Musangi, to serve as the Central Bank of Kenya chairperson. The move points to a deliberate effort by the lender to avert a conflict of interest as Mr. Musangi will oversee the bank if his nomination gets parliamentary approval. Regulators avoid ownership of regulated entities or rather relationships that create a conflict of interest. CDN Bank said on Thursday it is committed to good corporate governance, business ethics, and global best practices. Mr. Musangi, Ms. Musangi, a daughter of the late billionaire businessman Chris Kirubi, has served on the CDN board for 8 years. She was instrumental in rebranding the lender from K-Rep Bank to CDN Bank in 2016. Mobile money transactions, particularly merchant payments, may have become a substitute for card payments. PesaLink, a bank P2P service, which was launched in 2017, enables 247 real-time payments of up to 999,000 shillings 999 across banks. This is a statement from the National Payment Strategy for the period 2022 to 2025 released by the Central Bank of Kenya (CBK) in February 2022. The CBK expects that mobile money will continue to cement its foothold as a rapidly growing alternative for cash-based and traditional electronic payments such as checks in the Kenyan payments ecosystem. And now on to other news. Kenya Power has engaged the National Treasury to help it recover arrears owed to the utility by large consumers in which the government has a stake and has since run into financial headwinds, rendering them unable to settle obligations for power consumed. The electricity distributor says it is looking to get the exchequer's assistance in recovering at least 1.5 billion shillings from entities that have since collapsed, notably sugar millers in the western region sugar belt and one player in the country's horticulture sector. In the full year ended June 2022, Kenya Power's total overdue debt owed by consumers stood at 19.7 billion shillings, having decreased by 8% compared to the prior year. This means that Kenya Power took a hit of as much as 13.0% of its annual total sales in overdue debt by consumers. Dr. Siror says the firm has now placed a large power consumers on tight leash with a view to addressing future risks stemming from arrears. Kenya Power is demanding guarantees from such players to provide a cushion for itself on power sales. Airtel Uganda will offer free shares to investors participating in its 31.3 billion shillings initial public offer (IPO), which opened on Wednesday in an effort to spur uptake of the shares. The offer, which has been opened to Kenyan investors, will see the incentive shares issued to qualifying investors on a pro-rated basis, with higher application volumes guaranteeing one more free share. Retail investors in the IPO will receive between 5 and 20 free shares per 100 bought, while professional investors will access between 10 and 37.5 units per 100 purchased.
Malmo Investments, Pesa Cap Loans. We are located at Vengano Street, Terry House ground floor opposite Super Metro, Mulongo Stage. Call us on 0700919201. Life might be tough right now, but we got you. Get easy solutions. Call us now.
Having read the report on Kenya Power's seeking treasury help to recover 1.5 billion shillings. That marks the end of our 10 a.m. business news bulletin. My good name is Joseph Kinyanjui and I have been your news host this morning. Have a good day.
Stesheni nambari